They say that talking to yourself is a sign of insanity. But I'm pretty sure that's only if you answer back, right? Right. This is Talking to Myself, the Art Advice podcast where I use anecdotes from my life to try to make myself a better artist and possibly a better person. Other people might find this useful as well, but mostly I'm just trying to avoid paying for therapy. On today's podcast, I thought I'd talk about some revelations I've had recently about concentration and focusing your efforts. But first, I think I'll start with a tiny bit of an anecdote. It's not much this week. When I was a kid, in summertime, we would drink from the hose in the yard. Because if you grow up in the rural South, that's just how you do. And actually, we had well water, so it was quite tasty. It had that nice hint of rubber. Kind of a fond memory, actually. That was really good water. But we didn't have one of those fancy trigger sprayers to increase the water pressure. So naturally, you could drink right out of the hose and just, it was fun. I still remember the copper taste from the attachment on the end, the threaded end of the hose. Who knows how many diseases I picked up doing that, but hey. But I learned as a child that if you put your thumb over the end of the hose, you can achieve the same kind of result as the spray trigger. Because with a smaller opening, you increase the relative water pressure and you get a stronger kind of stream. That's the rather weak metaphor I'm going to be using this week to relate back to my art practice. I currently have one art challenge going, 31 Days of Halloween, which I've not been great at so far. I've already missed a couple of days. It's only the first week. Good grief. Also, I was posting on Instagram every day, separately, although I may be combining those from here on in just to save some time. I'm still streaming twice a week. I'm working on a coloring book for Halloween that I'm going to put out there as quickly as I possibly can. It's coming. I swear it's coming. And I've got at least one other art project that's sort of in the ether at the moment that I'm thinking about. So, then this is on top of my normal full-time job. So I'm feeling like I got a lot of stuff going on and I'm flailing quite hard at multiple projects, and I'm not achieving any traction really with any of them. Doing the drawings for 31 Days of Halloween is a real struggle for some reason. And they're just supposed to be like an hour at most. I'm having trouble finding an hour each day to draw and post an image, which is kind of sad because I should be drawing way more than that anyway. But I think part of my problem here is even if I'm not working on another project, a separate project, I'm thinking about it. It's taking up concentration, right? A lot of productivity experts say that if you want to get things done, you need to put together a list of, say, 3 things for a day. That's what you do, and that's all you do. And you do them one at a time, because multitasking is pretty much a lie. When you try to multitask, all you're doing is dividing your attention amongst multiple things, and therefore less effort goes into multiple things. You get poorer results over a larger number of tasks. So multitasking is crap. And what I've been trying to do, essentially, is multitask like 6 things at once, which is my fault. I mean, obviously, these are all self-imposed. No one gives a crap about any of these except me. And I don't know why I thought I could do so many at once, but it's too many. So I'm not going to cancel any of the challenges. I'm not going to put anything on the side. What I am going to do is try to focus on one thing at a time, work on it every day, and I think that'll actually help me a lot to get something done. I'm going to prioritize, and I'm going to change the priorities every day. I'm going to look at all the projects I have to do in the morning when I'm at work, mindlessly doing my job, before it gets to the part where I'm out in the world interacting with people and traffic and stuff, doing my job. In the morning, when it's the mindless part of the job, I'm going to be focusing on what are my priorities for my own projects today, and therefore what's the top priority thing I need to do, and I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to do that project, that work on that thing until I feel like I've achieved something for the day. And if I run out of time after that, then that's it. I'm not going to do this thing where I was doing a thing where I was dividing it up into half-hour blocks. Work a half hour on this, then a half hour on that, then a half hour on that. It doesn't work for me. Sometimes it takes me more than half an hour to get warmed up to something. And you end up with mediocre results that I'm not happy with. These are projects I'm trying to use to promote myself in the world as an artist. And if they're mediocre, or they don't show what I can really do, then they're not really serving the purpose, are they? So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm using the short list version of prioritization here. every morning, look through what I've got to do, order them by order of importance, and then when I get a chance, once I'm off work, I start on them one at a time until I feel like I've achieved something of worth, and then move on to the next one if I have any time left. I think that's going to help me a lot more. It'll make it harder to drink from the hose if you put your finger over the end like that, but it'll make it a lot easier to create more pressure and get a better result. So let's hope that works. I'm sure I'll be complaining about it on social media if and when it does not, or crowing about it if it does. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully this kind of thing will help you out as well. I'm sure a lot of you already knew about this, and I'm just now catching on to the fact that it's hard to do more than one thing at a time, even if you're only physically doing one thing at a time. But I'm kind of slow. It's been said before. Special thanks to my patrons on Patreon. You guys get to hear and see these a week earlier than everyone else, and you are the shiniest people I know. Hope your scary season is going well. You guys are taking care of yourselves. Do what you need to do to stay safe. Be good to each other. And I will see you next time.